A common question that I usually get asked when it relates to Weber Kettle grills or charcoal grills in general is how can I control the temperatures of my charcoal grill? Well, today I'm going to attempt to hopefully help you guys get started and give you guys a good overview so you can kind of understand how your kettle grill in particular works, and hopefully you can apply it to other charcoal grills. Let's dive in. So when it comes to your Weber Kettle, you have three ways of controlling your temperatures. You have the bottom vent, you have the top vent, and don't forget about the lid. So I'm gonna show you how to use all three to your advantage and hopefully manage your temperatures for your barbecue grill. Okay, let's start off with the bottom vent, which is your main airflow. Any changes to the bottom vent will dramatically change the temperatures of your kettle grill. So if you wanna do low and slow, or if you wanna sear, this is where you would adjust your temperatures. There's a couple of notches on here that are very important. And for this grill, they actually symbolize different stages of cooking. So let's take a look at these notches a little bit closer. Okay, on most recent or modern day Weber Kettle grills, this is again the Kettle Grill Original Premium. There's also the Master Touch Premium and so forth. You have the one-touch cleaning system. And you can see here that the very first notch is closed, right? This is completely choking off all airflow. So when you want to shut down your grill, you go to the first notch. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that they have to be on a particular notch in order to adjust the temperatures of the grill, when in reality, anything in between is fair game. So you may just need to barely crack it just like that, and that might be enough for you to manage your temperatures. The next notch, which symbolizes a restriction of airflow, is really good for low and slow temperatures, or if you need to manage lower temperatures. And then finally, that last notch right there is wide open. This is perfect for searing high heat temperatures. But like I said, anything in between is fair game. And of course, if you sweep it back and forth like this, it's the one-touch cleaning system, and it's a great way to clean your grill. It's one of the best systems out there. I love Weber kettles. I think they're very, very versatile. Okay, and now you have your top vent. Your top vent should be your fine tuning. You want to think of this as only fine tuning. Of course, if you want maximum airflow, you want to sear something, you want the most amount of heat, the bottom vent and the top vent should be wide open. But let's say you are cooking something that will require some high heat, but you're not sure if you're gonna need that extra high heat all the time. For example, you may wanna start off searing at, let's say, 550 degrees or 500 degrees, but you wanna bring those temperatures down to a happy 400 degrees. Then you would leave the bottom vent at the fully open setting, but you would fine tune the temperatures with the top vent. And likewise, if you're trying to do low and slow, the bottom vent would be set to the low and slow temperatures. But what I want to stress, and a lot of beginners make this mistake, don't be surprised if you barely have to crack this vent at all. Some of my friends and family can't believe how well kettle grills will hold their temperatures. And then when they look at my settings, they are really surprised to see that the top vent is barely cracked at all. And your kettle grill sometimes is really happy with that setting. So the top vent is your fine tuning. And finally, your third setting is your lid. Use your lid wisely, but your lid along with your air vents will be your maximum airflow possible. So when would you want to use your lid? Well, let's say you overshot your temperatures by a lot. You're going to adjust your vents, top and bottom, and then you might open your lid completely, let out all that temperature, right? Let all that temperature escape. And because you have your vents already adjusted and your airflow is already partially restricted, when you put your lid back on, those vents are restricting the airflow again, and you're kind of resetting. Not quite, but you're resetting in a way. Likewise, let's say you dumped your charcoal in too early and they're not fully lit. By the way, I have a video on that. Check that out. I showed you guys what fully lit charcoal looks like versus partially lit, and we talked about all the common mistakes people make. Using the thermal imaging camera, we were able to see all that. But let's say you did not fully light your charcoal. You used the chimney starter, but you dumped them in too soon. Well, open up all your vents, open the lid, and let that charcoal burn a little bit longer and get them fully lit so you can get the maximum amount of temperature that you need out of your charcoal. That's basically how you would use your lid. Okay, another thing that I want to discuss is how efficient are kettle grills in particular. They're actually pretty efficient. But a new grill versus an old grill is going to act very differently. A new grill has not developed any carbon buildup around the rim of the lid, so it doesn't have a very good seal. And you'll see that when you have a new grill, you'll see smoke escaping and so forth. Now you can't expect rock solid temperatures like a Kamado or so forth, but for what it is, for the money, a kettle grill does a really good job of maintaining and holding temperatures. But with the new grill, it's kind of not as efficient because it's still building up all that grease and residue. But as you use it more and more, it just gets better and better. Okay, now let's talk about setting your expectations. If you overshot your grill or you didn't quite hit the mark, what kind of response time does a Weber Kettle or charcoal grills in general have? Well, you gotta remember, there's no knobs on here. They're not gas grills. You don't get an instant response. It's all about fine tuning, waiting, being patient, and seeing how the grill reacts to the changes you made. So typically you can expect anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes to actually get the temperature that you want when you make those fine adjustments. Sometimes it's longer because you way overshot. Let's say you're aiming for 350, 375 degrees, but your kettle grill is at 600 degrees. It's just physics. It's gonna take time for your kettle grill to get down to those temperatures. So yes, there is a little bit of trial and error. They're not the fastest grills to respond to temperature changes, but they're extremely versatile. And kettle grills, I think, are wonderful, but charcoal grills in general are the most versatile grills, in my opinion, out there. So be patient and learn on it. You guys are gonna do just fine. When I first started out, it was really frustrating, but then when I got the hang of it, now I hardly overshoot my temperatures, and if I do, it's really easy for me to just adjust and get back to where I need to be. I kid you not, it's just something that you're gonna learn, and once you master it, it's your best friend every single time. That's it for me, guys. I hope you found this video informative, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.